Hello, once again. So, I said that I was going to do reviews after each film. So, this is the review of The Exorcist, the beginning, which also was from 2005. Honestly, I wish this one didn't work either because it was pretty bad. It was a lot worse than I remembered. I don't know if I saw this in the movie theater, but I definitely watched this, years ago when it came out. I might have watched it like once or twice. It seemed fairly okay, but I remember not really being a fan of it. But this time around, the shittiness really shows. For an Exorcist sequel, it's absolutely garbage, because obviously the first one was such a fantastic film. And the version you've never seen, which is the one I have here, is actually pretty good. It's pretty neat. They included scenes that were originally not in the original, that were deleted or taken out, deleted scenes. So it was neat to see those. And obviously this one's sort of a mixed bag. I'm a huge fan of it. Part 2 is actually an interesting one, but it can be really slow in some parts. And like I said, it's sort of its own thing. It's a sequel, but it's very different from that one, and then even more different from the third one. And this one is phenomenal. For an Exorcist sequel, for a part 3 in a series, and for coming out in the 90s, very few sequels in the 90s, horror sequels, were actually any good. So it's interesting to see that this one really stands the test of time. The next one that would have came out would have been this one. This one was meant to be the official prequel. The other one, Dominion, that was meant to be sort of a direct-to-DVD release. This was the one that, like Morgan Creek, and WB, the film companies, this was what they presented to the public, saying, "This is the official prequel." And that was a huge mistake on their part, because the CGI is atrocious. The directing was really bad, by Rennie Harlan. The acting was pretty bad. Dialogue was alright. The jump scares were really bad and felt forced. There's not a whole lot of good stuff going on here. The overall story was fairly good. They did try to keep a lot of the elements from the original story. Like the Dominion was the first attempt, or actually second attempt per se, because the original director who was working on the project passed away. So then it got handed to this other guy, and the studio wasn't happy with what he did, so then they went with Harlan, and he messed it up even more. But like I said, the main story is fairly interesting, and The Exorcist is not a bad series overall to make a prequel to, because there's definitely a lot of history that could be covered if covered correctly, if done correctly. But they've really missed the ball here. And I think at this point in general, like especially in the 2000s, Exorcist films just don't really have the shock value that they used to. They've really kind of worn off. The exorcism in the film was awful and over the top, and the demon had way too much power, and compared to the earlier ones, they did a really good job with sort of creating boundaries that the demons had. So that being said, I mean, it's garbage. So, I mean, I'm a completist, so I might keep it because it's part of the collection, I guess. I don't know. Or try and sell it and see if I can get lucky and get it like $1 or something for it. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything funny to say, and I don't really have anything good to say. Overall, it was a really weak entry, and for anybody who is a Exorcist fan, hardcore, I would recommend skipping this one. There's really not anything in particularly special about it. If anything, it really makes me want to go and watch the other one, because certain things were changed, certain elements were changed, certain actors were changed. The CGI was different, the effects were also different, and I think the whole ending was also very different. So that's really the only good thing is if you accidentally watch this first, it'll amp you up to want to see the other version that wouldn't work earlier, which is why you could tell it was so upset. Thanks again, and have yourself a wonderful rest of the day.